In late April, the Philippines and the United States launched one of the most ambitious editions yet of Exercise Balikatan, the annual joint military drills that have been a fixture of the alliance for over 4 decades. Balikatan, a Tagalog term meaning shoulder to shoulder, aptly describes the purpose of these exercises: strengthening military cooperation, improving joint readiness, and signaling a shared commitment to regional security. Now, in its 41st iteration, Balikatan 2026 brought together more than 17,000 troops from the armed forces of the Philippines, the United States, and an expanding roster of partner nations, including Japan, Australia, Canada, France, and New Zealand. The drills were conducted across multiple locations in northern Luzon, the central Philippines, and surrounding maritime areas encompassing land, air, and sea operations. This scale and scope represent a significant expansion from previous years, highlighting the growing complexity of regional security concerns. Unlike earlier editions, which focused largely on counterterrorism and disaster response, this year's exercise incorporated full-spectrum warfare simulations. Troops trained in coastal defense, amphibious landings, integrated air and missile defense, maritime strike operations, and live-fire exercises. The drills demonstrated a capacity to operate in complex multi-domain scenarios, reflecting modern military realities. In the northern provinces, Filipino and USA, Marines conducted coastal defense operations, simulating the defense of vulnerable shores against seaborne attacks. Advanced systems such as Stinger missiles were deployed to intercept simulated threats, while amphibious landing exercises allowed troops to practice rapid responses against approaching forces. These operations were complemented by sophisticated air defense exercises, with participants working to integrate sensors, communication networks, and missile platforms to detect and neutralize potential aerial threats. At sea, the drills included high-profile live-fire exercises. Allied forces conducted coordinated maritime strike operations, including the controlled sinking of a decommissioned Philippine warship. Japan's deployment of US-2 amphibious aircraft marked a notable expansion of its participation in international defense exercises, demonstrating growing interoperability between Tokyo, Manila, and Washington. Australia, Canada, France, and New Zealand contributed personnel and units participating in ground, air, and maritime components of the drills, emphasizing the increasingly multilateral nature of Indo-Pacific security. Despite the advanced weaponry and complex scenarios, officials were clear that Balikatan is not aimed at any particular nation. It's about enhancing our interoperability, strengthening our readiness, and supporting our ability to contribute to security in the region. But there is no target nation in terms of an adversary force that we're exercising against, said U.S. Lieutenant General Christian F. Wortman, commanding general of the I Marine Expeditionary Force. Philippine military leaders echoed this sentiment, emphasizing that the drills are designed to test coordination, responsiveness, and operational capability in various scenarios, including humanitarian assistance and disaster response, as well as defense of sovereign territory. There were no recorded coercive and aggressive actions by any external forces during the exercises, according to an Armed Forces of the Philippines spokesperson. Nonetheless, the scale and visibility of Balikatan have drawn attention and concern from Beijing. Chinese officials have repeatedly criticized the exercises, warning that the introduction of external forces could destabilize regional peace and security. The Chinese Foreign Ministry stated that the region most needs peace and tranquility, and what it least needs is the introduction of external forces to create division and confrontation. China's military also conducted parallel exercises during the period, deploying warships and aircraft in the waters east of Luzon. Anti-ship bombers and fighter escorts were observed near contested areas such as Scarborough Shoal, signaling Beijing's capacity to project power and respond to perceived threats. These maneuvers are part of a broader pattern of asserting control over the South China Sea, a crucial maritime domain through which more than half of global trade passes and which China claims almost entirely despite international rulings that rejected its sweeping claims. The South China Sea remains at the heart of the strategic tension. The Philippines, backed by a 2016 international arbitration ruling, maintains sovereignty over certain reefs, shoals, and maritime zones, but has faced repeated confrontations with Chinese forces in these areas. Fishing communities, in particular, are vulnerable to harassment and restricted access, underscoring the human cost of these geopolitical disputes. For Manila, Balikatan provides a platform to demonstrate its capacity to defend territorial waters, maintain situational awareness, and exercise coordination with allies. For Washington, the exercises reinforce the U.S. commitment to the Indo-Pacific, emphasizing freedom of navigation, adherence to international law, and collective deterrence against coercion. The participation of other allies further signals a shift toward a multipolar security framework. Japan's involvement is particularly notable. The deployment of self-defense force units and advanced amphibious aircraft outside Japan's immediate waters marks a significant step in regional defense integration. Likewise, contributions from Canada, France, and New Zealand illustrate the growing concern among democratic states over coercive behavior in the region, including threats to free navigation and stability. The U.S. Sea military introduced advanced assets such as HIMARS rocket systems and the NMSS anti-ship launcher, highlighting long-range deterrence capabilities around northern Luzon and key maritime choke points. These assets allow the allied forces to coordinate firepower effectively, ensuring a robust response to any emergent threat scenario. Amid the high-profile military demonstrations, local communities experienced the practical consequences of large-scale exercises. In coastal towns near Zambales and other exercise zones, temporary fishing restrictions and access limitations impacted daily life and livelihoods. Urban protests also arose, with some activists warning that increased foreign military presence could entangle the Philippines in broader geopolitical conflicts. Nevertheless, defense analysts note that Balikatan 2026 has set a new standard for the exercise. It is larger, more complex, and more integrated than any previous iteration, showcasing the operational readiness of Philippine and allied forces. Observers view the drills as both a deterrence and a reassurance. Deterrence again, same potential coercion, and reassurance to regional partners that the Philippines can coordinate effectively with allies in times of crisis. The exercises also underscore the strategic importance of the Philippines as a frontline state in Indo-Pacific security. Located near vital shipping lanes and contested waters, the country serves as a geographic anchor for allied forces seeking to maintain freedom of navigation and regional stability. The ability to operate seamlessly with multiple partners enhances the Philippines' defense posture while contributing to broader regional security. While the exercises themselves have concluded, the broader strategic environment remains tense. Analysts continue to debate whether such displays of military cooperation ease pressure in disputed waters or exacerbate rivalry. What is certain is that Balikatan has evolved from a bilateral readiness exercise into a cornerstone of a larger regional security architecture. In this framework, the Philippines, the United States, and allied partners increasingly prepare to operate shoulder to shoulder amid intensifying competition with China. The drills also serve a symbolic purpose. By including multiple nations and demonstrating high levels of interoperability, Balikatan conveys a message that regional security is not the concern of any single nation. Instead, it is a shared responsibility among states committed to rules-based order and mutual defense. The visibility of these exercises reinforces political and strategic signals to all stakeholders, including China, which has expressed repeated objections to what it views as the militarization of regional disputes. From the perspective of Manila, the benefits of Balikatan are manifold. The exercises enhance tactical skills, improve logistics and coordination, allow for testing of command and control networks, and provide opportunities for disaster response and humanitarian assistance planning. Simulated scenarios ranging from natural disaster to amphibious defense operations allow commanders and troops to refine procedures that may one day save lives, whether in conflict or catastrophe. For Washington and other allied nations, the exercise offers a proving ground for technological integration and force projection. Advanced weapons, command networks, and sensor-to-shooter coordination are tested in real-world environments, ensuring that forces are not only theoretically interoperable, but capable of working together under operational conditions. This practical experience strengthens collective deterrence and demonstrates a readiness posture that extends beyond symbolic gestures. Looking ahead, Balikatan is likely to remain a centerpiece of Philippine-U.S. defense cooperation and a focal point for multilateral involvement in the Indo-Pacific. Future iterations are expected to continue emphasizing interoperability, technological integration, and joint readiness, while also adapting to evolving geopolitical conditions, including the presence of other strategic actors and the challenges posed by emerging threats such as unmanned systems, cyber warfare, and hybrid operations. In conclusion, Balikatan 2026 was not merely a military exercise. It was a statement of resolve, capability, and partnership. While officials stress that the drills are not aimed at any specific country, their scale, complexity, and multinational character inevitably influence regional perceptions and strategic calculations. The exercises demonstrate that the Philippines and its allies are prepared to defend sovereignty, maintain stability, and respond effectively to challenges in a contested and dynamic Indo-Pacific security environment. It's about enhancing our interoperability, strengthening our readiness, and supporting our ability to contribute to security in the region. But there is no target nation in terms of an adversary force that we're exercising against, said Lieutenant Jen Wortman. There were no recorded coercive and aggressive actions by any external forces during the exercises, reaffirmed the AFP spokesperson, underlining the dual nature of Balikatan, a rigorous test of military capability, and a platform for diplomatic signaling, all conducted in a region where strategic competition continues to shape the maritime landscape.